Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the next adventure. I'm Bob. Well, we're at the camper now, so that heater problem that you saw, we're going to dive into it. This thing's still under warranty, so I could take it to a dealership. Problem is probably the amount of time it's going to take to a dealership. I can just figure it out myself, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it apart, see what we find out. So, let's get into it. So here you can see this is the furnace. It's underneath the kitchen sink and the cooker here. So I'm going to take this out. I don't know exactly how to get to it. I know it can pull out from the side of the unit, so we might end up doing that, but I'm going to see if I can get behind this panel to see if I'm looking for the cell switch. So if we can find it behind this panel, sweet. Otherwise, we'll take it out on the other side. So let's see if I can get in here with the let's see what we got going on in here. Oh, I don't even know. What is all this? Oh, is this my water pump? There's a filter. Is that what that is? So it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get to it from here. I'm going to have to take off the front cover. I want to know if this is my water pump. You see that in there? There's a little screen filter there. So that's my little screen for my water pump, and then my water pump's right there, which that's really good to know because I thought it was underneath. And being that it's not underneath, I'm not that concerned about the actual pump freezing. I was actually worried about that, but I'm not worried about it no more. So before we go any further, this here's my battery box. We're going to disconnect it because I'm probably going to be dealing with the 12 volts going to the unit. I don't want to short anything out. I'm sure it won't be the end of the world, but I don't want to have to try to find fuses. So we're going to go ahead and just disconnect it here. A lot of people take off the negative. I'm going to take off the positive so I just don't ground it out anywhere while I am working on it. There we go. There we go. Now we have no power. Perfect. This here is the outside of the unit. I'm sure there's a seal here, so I'll have to try not to screw that up there, but I don't exactly know how this comes apart. Looks like this pops off and then maybe this whole, I don't know, let's just take some screws out and see what happens. Don't know till you know, right? So this is the exhaust port. This is where I was putting the torch in trying to light it in the other video. I don't think it did me any good whatsoever. It just was a coincidence because the cell switch I think is probably on the fresh air side. And not the, well, it might be actually on, not the exhaust side, but probably the fresh air side, or on the, it'll be on the fresh air side of the exhaust here. Huh, would you look at that? Maybe if I want to get so much dirt and stuff in there, it's all got a lot of water. Okay, so this is the exhaust port. And you can see the fan. This is a good sign. So there should be a cell switch, I'm assuming. Oh, you can see back here, right back there, the blue wires. That's going to a limit switch. So that limit switch, if it does end up sticking on, if the cell switch ends up sticking on, that limit switch will shut this unit down. So that's a good thing. So looking at this, I see a fan, which is kind of at a horrible spot, really. Got a bunch of gunk in there. We'll blow this all out. I didn't know how bad it actually. Maybe I'll design like a cover to go over this because I go off-road quite a bit in this thing. As you can see, it's been way dirtier than this. So I'm gonna have to do something different, I think. Well, let's pop this cover off and see what happens. So it looks like we have some tar. Well, at least we know it has a decent seal on it. It's not wet in there. Cool. Let's take a peek at what we're looking at, shall we? Okay, so we have the circuit board here, and I think I see our switch that I'm actually trying to find. This is going to be our igniter on the circuit board, relays. I think all that's okay. Just a little grounding. Oh, what is that? Let's see. Another, oh, it's an on-off switch. Huh, that's a strange spot for an on-off switch. There's a reset button. That's good to know there's a reset button there. So, I think the switch we're looking for is right here. So right here, it's right in the airstream. So this is going to be our exhaust fan motor. It's all one motor. Okay. So that just proves fan on both sides because it's all one fan. Hey, look at that. Oh wait, no, that's just a ground. I thought that was a loose wire. I thought this was a loose wire there for a second. It's just a ground to the chassis. Okay, so let's see about popping that little cell switch out of there. So what I'm kind of hoping to find is behind here, I'm hoping to find like a piece of lint or dirt, or maybe I sucked in a piece of mud, or it's kind of what I'm going for. Hopefully we can see an issue. If not, well then, that's a bummer. Wires are unhooked, pushed out of the way. Let's see how I get to pull this thing out of here. There it is. This here is the culprit. Looks fairly clean. There's definitely some dog hair on it. Dang it, copper. I don't imagine that dog hair would cause much of an issue, but who knows? Maybe it does. It's hard to say. Seems like the switch is doing good. Let's check continuity across the contacts here. Beep of the ohm meter. So this thing just was not making contact. So this thing sits in here like this. The fan comes and it's supposed to push it in, make contact. So something went wrong. Let's take a peek inside, make sure there's nothing blocking the fan or nothing like that. Yeah, it feels fine. Alright. Everything looks fine, everything feels fine. There's a little dog hair on there, so that's concerning. Whether that caused it, I don't know. I might have to design a filter or something to slide right back in here. Okay, the switch is back in. Can't reach it from that side, which is a bummer. And that's literally what the problem is. Hook up the wiring. There we go. So that's hooked up. It might be good to go now. I just need a little adjustment or something in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it back together. Okay, let's give her some power and we'll turn this thing on. Contact. It's hot. Good. The good thing about it running the way it is right now is the battery is very low. I haven't charged it in, well, a week. And I ran it, I was out, I haven't charged it since then. So it was able to start on that low of a battery. That's a good sign. So I'm gonna open the garage door because you don't want to breathe all that. And you just heard my furnace kick on. I don't want to suck it inside my house either. So I'm gonna open the garage door, let it cool off and let it just keep cycling. And I'm gonna keep an eye on it and see if it stops. That's all I can do. If it does stop, I don't know. If it doesn't stop, I'm gonna blame the dog hair. I mean, if it continues to work, I'm gonna blame the dog hair. So I'll check back in later. I'm gonna let it run probably a couple hours just to get a for sure result, because this morning it didn't work. It's working now, didn't this morning, so I want a sure result. All right, I'll check back in later. All right, it's been a few hours and it's been cycling on and off. I've been making sure, I've been watching it, and it's working just like it should. So I'm gonna chalk it up, probably that little bit of dog hair that was on there somehow was keeping it from closing. It might be super sensitive switch, or it just needed to be adjusted, or I don't know, maybe we knocked something out before we took it out. But all I know, it's working, and I'm happy about that because it's time to go back out here pretty soon. On that note, thanks for watching. Until next time, on to the next adventure.